after watching and being inspired by the dramatic and fresh production of George Orwell's Animal Farm, audiences across the country witnessed the injustice experienced by the animals through political systems that led to their eventual rebellion.
We challenge young people from Norwich, Birmingham, Blackpool and Canterbury to take part in Blackpool Grand Theatre's Creative Digital Challenge, using Rhetoric to make speeches about political causes important to them.
We offered young people a question to answer. What would you change in the world? These are the answers from some of the young activists from across the country.
You asked us what we would change about the world.
That's a big question.
What we want? Almost like wishes? I suppose. I don't know. That's a hard question.
What about world peace? Why can't we just have world peace?
I wish our generation wasn't labelled as lazy or spoiled.
It's unfair.
Yeah, and it's not true. Gender.
Working.
Sexuality.
Being equal.
Ability.
Working.
Gender.
Accepting who you are.
Inequality. Inequality. Inequality.
Inequality.
Inequality.
In our society today, I would say that we all have a vision of an ideal world, most being similar. However, we must not, and I must say that we must not push too much, because to resist law is to accept dystopian society. In the upcoming years, we have experienced many challenges with the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. However, we have found ways around this by using Zoom and other apps for work and socialising.
Following on from this, rates of pollution have increased by 40% during this COVID-19 pandemic. This has been fueled by an overuse and negligence of respect for our planet. This will lead to yet again suffering for our world. And we, as a community, have tirelessly worked to create sustainable and non-toxic COVID equipment for you, but for everybody else. We need to collect as a society and work as a collective community to make this happen.
Generally, study finds 90% of people are biased against women.
That's not true.
How is this fair? Globally, close to 50% of men said they had more of a right to the job than a woman. In this day and age, this truly cannot be acceptable. Male players in the Premier League make more money than any other in the world. This average salary being approximately 60,000 a week, which equates to more than 3 million a year. In Women's Super League in England, average women's footballer salary is thought to be around 30,000. Starting salaries are supposed to be around 20,000 in the past. Now, we need to act on this before men get too empowered.
The UK have had a dramatic increase in crime rates this year.
As the Chief Police Officer, I would like to urgently inform you of the urgency of the 90,000 crime rates.
Stop! I think that
Sir, just a moment. Back to our topic. We, as a nation, need to focus our efforts on the increasing crime rates in England. Would you want to live with regular hospital visits for the rest of your life? No. How would you feel watching your mother or sister die at the hands of a stranger? I hand it over to the Chief of the British Police.
You, at home, you are committing these crimes. You are selfish people, are turning the police's attention away from abuse, away from sexual abuse, physical abuse, domestic abuse, and the stabbing rates are...
Yes, very well. Oh, in the US, there was a shortage of Peppa Pig merchandise. Yes, sorry.
76% stabbing. Do you know how many police officers are forced to abandon their investigations? You are causing increases in crime rates, and the police can no longer focus on their work.
Think about it. Would you like to get less money for doing the job as just as well as another gender? Do women work less hard than men?
That does seem like a very pressing issue, but I think that the problem of savoury muffins is bigger. I mean, they're so rank and they're
Exactly. Do you just want your children to grow up knowing that when they make muffins, they will be paid less for doing the same work? However, women will do the same job just as well, or maybe even better than men, and get paid less for it. Isn't that a little bit more pressing than savoury muffins?
Yes, but I guarantee that more than 90% of people in this room do not like savoury muffins. Can I have a show of hands? Who in here likes savoury muffins? Exactly.
Leading on from that, does our opinion of muffins link to the prejudice of women's intelligence? Is it due to our prejudiced stereotypes that women are paid less than men?
Yes, but
It has been shown the gender pay gap has increased to 15.4% from 14.9% in 2020. For those of you out there who know someone who has experienced this or experienced it firsthand, know that it will change. And anyone who hasn't, how do you feel if one of you, your family members, couldn't pay their bills just because they are women?
yes, that is a good point, and I love women. I think they're great. But any woman that makes a savoury muffin is mad. I mean, you might as well dunk a cupcake in the sea.
Anyway, the prejudice of women is not okay.
And neither is savoury muffins.
Breaking news. A new war outbreak has left everyone shocked. Live from West London. Over to you, Brittany.
Thank you, Deborah. Scientists reported nuclear remains found in the Russian vaults, sending everyone into a global panic. Susanna Ash, coming to you with more news. Is it not smart to focus on rumours you heard from Russia when Ukraine is in crisis, being bombed? Innocent children and families are losing their lives. Is this not important to you, Mrs. Stevens? I never said it wasn't. This could result in a nuclear ending. This is just a rumour. You aren't looking at the facts.
Okay, guys. This is getting a bit heated. And through this crisis in central London, a group of ducks saved Let's all just keep calm. That's not very necessary.
Everyone at home, if you're watching this, please find shelter immediately.
That's not necessary. Trust me, we've had these.
We're going.
The world is ending so many times. Do we really? Can we get that music to stop, please? Bob, Derek, can we get the music to stop? Can we, guys? Can we get?
There's no shelter that way!
Ridiculous. Come on.
They are ruining the world for us, but we can save our planet forever. The statistics of the past may say the humans have destroyed the planet, but we animals, we can change the path of the future paved out by the actions of the humans. The day when all wildfires disappear, whole towns stop flooding, ice stops melting. This will be the day to celebrate our lives and to live to the new normality. Life's not about to wait for you, it's time to act. We need to act. Today is a day when we can start dedicating our time to each other. Climate change will make its entrance again, but if we continue to help this earth, things will forever improve. Nothing will stop the fact that we are always in a world of destruction, but we animals can support each other in this roller coaster of events.
I have heard there is a virus that is killing animals all over the world. It is highly contagious and deadly. are cases in farms nearby, therefore we have begun our preparation. Squealer has built our fence and nobody can leave this farm. Clover, as you are the most vulnerable and old, you will not mix with any animal and stay in stable 4. The vet is coming today to give you your first vaccine, as oldest have priority. I'm going to start the bubble regime, which means you must stay in your animal family and you cannot mix with any other animals, otherwise there are consequences. Molly, watch out. Snowball and Squealer are my assistants, and they will be watching your every move and to see if none of my rules are broken. A new soap has arrived, which everyone must use. Pigs, wash those trotters well. Later, we will all practice the new washing regime. Chickens, remember to spray your eggs before they are collected. We must remain as healthy as possible, so every group of animals will have a time where they are allowed to have just 2 laps around the field every day. I've got a new slogan, which is Trotters Snout Space. I will give a daily briefing at mealtime to update you on the situation. If any of my rules are broken, we may be all in isolation and we will have no celebrations. I am doing this to keep everybody safe. This is Animal Farm, and together we will beat this.
Greetings, fellow animals. In the world we live in at the moment, many things are uncertain. This is because of the humans who are supposedly running this farm. Everything that they have told us, trying to tell us what they are doing is right, is false. They're cutting back our hay, they're starving us for the winter.
But isn't it strange how these humans treat us? Yet we are so closely alike.
We are living, breathing,
loving beings just as the humans are.
Well, they ain't loving though.
They slaughter us,
torture us, abuse us.
Because they're what? Better than us?
No. What does man have that we don't? A cold heart.
A spiteful mind.
They're just as alive as we are. Friends, we must understand that one man is no better than the other 9.
If we come together as a community, we can fight these issues, rise on top, beat them at their own game.
Otherwise, this problem will never stop. This will never change. Fighting will only produce more power-hungry leaders. If you can't do this for yourself, think of your children. Do it for them.
There isn't many laws that say they can stop, they have to stop taking drugs to help with the problems. They can't buy it, sure, but they can take it. I propose that this hopelessness, this loss comes to an end. Teenagers have 4% of the alcoholic intake of this world, so if we stop it now, our children and our young people can live to see a better tomorrow.
Support. That's what's needed in a world full of judgment. No matter what your race, your sexuality, your gender, we all need to be there for each other. Because if not, the world is just going to be full of hate. No one's going to get along. No one's going to grow together, love each other. Is that what you want?
In recent times of chaotic political beliefs, politics as a subject is so unaware for people of a certain age, particularly the younger people of our generations of our country. And what we need in this world is for people to be more aware of what is going on around them. Because what's going on around them affects them. It affects me, it affects you. How do we do this? We do this by making people more aware. Teach politics in schools, in secondary year, the moment when you're about to go from childhood into adulthood. That is the time when we need to make people more aware of the political beliefs, and not even just stick to narrow-minded political views. Explore other alternatives. Look at their policies. Do they agree with yours? Do they agree with your beliefs? And don't just attack them. Listen. Be more aware of what's being said and what's going on around you.
Past the age of 25, a day most women dread comes to pass. Smear tests. I propose a new way of executing such procedure. Not only will it relinquish pain, the discomfort many women feel, and the embarrassment of the procedure itself. Have women in our country not been through enough? Birthing their children, raising them, to have to suffer the discomfort, even if for 5 minutes? Statistics have proven that 1 in 3 women do not receive their pap smear. It is an important procedure, but women do not wish to have it due to the discomfort that they feel during it. With this new procedure we could put in place, not only will the statistics of cervical cancer be caught earlier, women will be happier to go for the procedure, they'll feel safer, and they'll come out brighter knowing that they've had the procedure, they are safer, they feel cleaner even.
When I was 17, I had a tattoo on my wrist. It stands for revolution in equality. My fist is the revolution, and these lines mean equality. And it hurt a lot, but not as much as the trans people that are suffering within our community. It's important that we all come together and revolt for these trans people, to make them protected, because at the end of the day, we're all human, no matter what's in your pants. It's important that we revolt for equality.
In the past 2 years, we've seen a lot of development in terms of racial inequality and taking steps forward to be more inclusive towards those groups. And I believe that we should not just talk about those groups now, but also how those groups were treated in the past. Which is why I believe that world history, again, should not just be European history. It should include Europe's impact on other parts of the world, such as the African and Asian continents. I also believe that if these steps are taken forward, then we can make a brighter future.
We need to end the stigma that it's dangerous for a woman to walk home alone by themselves. Instead, what we need to do is challenge the society out there that makes it that way for them. Why should the pressure be put on us to keep ourselves safe when really you should look to the outside world and see what's happening around them?
I read a quote in a book by feminist Florence Given recently, and it said that a man in a room full of women is ecstatic, but a woman in a room full of men is terrified. And I really feel like that reflects how women feel in society today.
We all know the old saying, the poor get poorer while the rich gets richer. And that is what will continually happen if the wealthy elite do not get held responsible for their actions. You see, the average Joe walking down the street and driving down the street and he gets pulled over by the police for speeding. He pays his ticket and he gets on with his life. Whereas these people in charge think that they can get away with breaking the rules and then not paying their fines and not being held accountable for their actions. So, we need to hold these people responsible and make sure they are duly punished.
Equality. It's an important word, isn't it? Used quite a lot, isn't it? Equality. The world has equality, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Well, I think that the world needs more equality, because all of these things that happen in the world, all these wars and all these marches for equality, they don't actually do anything because the people that are high above Almighty don't listen. But we're here to listen. We want equality. We want to do this for the world. Like Gandhi said, you be the change that you want to see in the world.
We're all on this road together. The good people that clothe themselves in righteousness, and the corrupt people that take whatever they want. And each of them are convinced that they are both on the sides of the angels. So if we don't do anything now, nothing will change. It's time we sit back and let those corrupt people get what they want. And if those good people do what they need to do, we need to make sure that they are treated fairly and good.
In India, every 20 minutes, a woman gets raped. The police do nothing. Every 40 minutes in Qatar, an innocent civilian gets enslaved and taken from their families. The police do nothing. Every hour and 27 minutes in London, a teenager gets stabbed. Yet again, the police do nothing. The police are cruising around these streets and are not doing enough. They jeopardise our fun when we go out by searching us for no reason because we look suspicious. How would you feel to be stopped by the police and searched down a busy road? I can imagine you would feel embarrassed, upset, angry and confused. The police need to stop cuffing the innocent and start cuffing the guilty.
I'm here to talk about countries starting war on other countries for no reason, because how would you feel if it was, say, like your dad went into fight in the war and had to kill innocent people? Also take into consideration if it was someone in your family that has to evacuate their own house and they had little children with them, and think how it would impact the children's lives. It would leave them like traumatized.
How would you feel if you were children in the war having to evacuate your child's home because houses are being blown up and your dad having to go fight? It would traumatise you. Did you know 62% of country populations have to migrate to another country during wars?
So, how would you feel if you migrated to this country and other people making fun of the way your people talk and making fun of the way your people look?
Right, we've all seen funny videos like the guy who goes, "How to pronounce cars?" and the "Why are you running?" videos. But when other people out of that race don't do it, like how Africans go, my sister. Like, have you seen this now? That's okay, because we're part of the same race. But when other people do it, it's them being unintentionally being racist. There are two types of racism. There's intentional racism and there's unintentional racism.
Imagine being a black child, yeah, and you're on the internet, you're just searching through the internet and you see black people being killed for no reason, yeah, like George Floyd, and then people in your class want to make fun of that. Like, when you see the video, you're gonna be scared. Like, you're gonna be watching it. Oh, is that gonna happen to me if I go somewhere? Is it gonna happen to my family if I go to America or something like that? You're gonna be scared, and then people in your class want to make fun of it. When you're in the class and people are making jokes, trying to do African accents, trying to go my sister, stuff like that, it's not funny. It just makes you uncomfortable. You can be the only black person in your class, other people will be making these jokes, and it just makes you uncomfortable. We're not saying you're being racist, we're not saying you're trying to be racist, but just be like conscious of your surroundings and of the people around you, because it's just really uncomfortable, and you come to school to learn, not to be uncomfortable because other kids in your class want to be making jokes like that.
We understand we all have our set opinions, but we have to look at it from multiple perspectives. Think as if you're an elderly person in a bad neighbourhood, in an unprotected home, all by yourself. You can't necessarily help the area with your status at that moment, but think how they feel, their fear, their intimidation, and they can't live a normal life, all because of this fear. They have to go outside knowing there's a possibility of them being either stabbed, robbed, maybe even kidnapped. But don't get me wrong, there's no such thing as a perfect world, but we need to help enforce it. We need to make things better. We can't just sit around and wait for it to happen itself.
So I just saw my friend crying and about things that they want to change this life and they want to make something different and they want to make their life is better. At least, like, people are not the same. People have problems with each other, and that's why we have this society. No one can change this world, and whatever we did something, another thing gonna come happen, and another people gonna be like all people just different and have different problems in their life. Like, for example, there's racism, sexism, and things like that. Lots of racism happening in this school, but nothing is just happening. Like, nothing. Even we told the teachers, we told the school, my family. No one can change it. It's still that people can't do anything. People is the same.